And welcome everybody to TNM Coaching Unplugged and Zoran Todorovic Interconnected podcast. I'm so glad and happy to see you all again on this amazing friendship podcast when we elevate our mind, we elevate our heart and our soul to the next level or beyond. This is the sweet space. Some of you are recording or reporting back that you come week after week to get inspired, to get revitalized, rejuvenated, to get new ideas, and also for you to really get rebalanced, to elevate to the different frequencies. So we're so happy to see everybody back and listening. And today we have a special guest. She's traveling around the world right now. She's in Borneo, I think still. She's one of these wonderful superstars that I met through a friend. And then we have recorded this live on Instagram, and it was really exciting and interesting and invigorating, so to say, and I'm so happy that you're going to be enjoying talking to me and listening to me and Tessa Hawes talking today about different stuff, but we're going to focus mainly on the mindset and what is mindset, why it's so important in our life, what do we need to do to be able to have this good mindset that creates quality of life, well-being, and so on and so forth. So we're going to dive into that, decoding, understanding, playing, and working with mindset. So Tessa, welcome.
Thank you very much. What a lovely introduction. And it's so nice being back at you. I really, really enjoyed chatting to you on our Instagram live. So really happy to be back with your audience. And if I can share some words of wisdom or some of my story that inspires others, I'm very, very happy to do so.
And tell us a little bit about yourself, because usually one of the things that I do really well, it's like I introduce the speaker in such an overwhelming way that once when they land into the podcast, they feel like, oh my God, you really introduced me more than I ever saw myself to be. So I decided to, dim myself down. But I would love you to say a few words about yourself.
Absolutely. So as you mentioned there, I am actually currently traveling the world with my husband and my two children, Oscar and Annie, who are 10 and 5. I am from Essex in England, and that's where I grew up. And my career has taken different directions in recent times. But one thing I've always prided myself on is working hard and achieving great things. And I started my career actually in the City of London. I'm actually a financial advisor by trade. And then 10 years ago, or almost 11 years ago, when I became a mum, I decided to kind of change my corporate path because it didn't allow me the flexibility that I wanted to be the present mum that I wanted to be. So I became self-employed, and I started to business coach people on setting up their own businesses. And one of the things that I was really intrigued by is actually what creates success. And you could be the hardest working person on the team, you could be the most talented, skilled person, but unless your mindset is in the right place, success is always limited in every area of life. So I really got intrigued by mindset. So I started to study mindfulness and mindset techniques and really started to engage with my business clients around this. And then I realized actually this stuff isn't just for business, it's for everybody. So I launched an app called Boss Your Morning. So I'm the founder of Boss Your Morning, and I teach people mindset hacks to really create success in lots of different areas of their lives. And I also daily mindset coach people as well via that technology. And then at the beginning of the pandemic, we had quite a lot of demand to help children in this space as well. And so we've gone on to create a franchise called Mini Me Mindfulness. And we are helping thousands of children all over the UK. So that's kind of my journey in terms of my background, my career. As I say, in September, we set off on a round the world trip, and it was always kind of our intention 5 years ago to kind of build up to this. So I really pride myself on having a rock solid mindset to be able to really live life to the full. And I like to help and inspire others to do exactly the same.
Wonderful, wonderful. So there is a direct relationship between mindset and success. That was your starting point, right?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit more about that. What is that relationship? You mentioned something which is always interesting. There's people who are working really hard, people who are, giving time, giving energy, giving focus, but they're still not successful in a certain way. So I'm just curious to kind of play a little bit with that notion. What is that correlation? What is that relationship with success and mindset?
Yeah, I think there's lots of things that we could unpack with that question. There's lots of I could talk about this for hours.
That's great. We have hours.
Given the time that we have, I think sometimes, most of the time, people don't give their space chance to think about what they would really like and how they would like their life to really unfold. Because lots of people put limitations on themselves, thinking actually their current reality is actually what is the path that they need to tread. So I think when it comes to mindset, I think once you've actually determined what makes you happy, what lights you up, what fills you up inside, and that does take quite a lot of exploration, and sometimes you might change paths, or things might alter on that journey. It's about kind of having the courage to then make changes, or the courage to kind of step out of your comfort zone, and the courage to push past fears and hesitations, or to step out on that skinny branch where things are maybe less than easy because they're unknown. So it's the hard work, absolutely, skill set, yeah, absolutely. But I think having the mindset and the courage and the belief in yourself that anything is possible. And unfortunately, I think a small percentage of people actually take the time to really put their foot on the ball, stop everything they're doing, and think, actually, am I truly happy inside? And if not, what is it? What is it that would feel, a 10 out of 10 in every area, and strive to achieve that? And whether it's fear of failure, fear of the unknown, I believe that if you're working on your mindset daily, it's like a muscle. It's like you build it up and you strengthen it over time, and then you need to continue to work on it, to stretch yourself, to achieve amazing outcomes and success in different areas. And success is measured so differently to lots of different people. So we're not just talking about financial gain, or or driving a big car or living in a big house. It could just be how you want to wake up and live every day. And that comes down to thinking about what makes your mind happy, what makes your body happy, what makes your heart sing, and then working out a strategy to make those things, to do more of those things, and make those things your reality.
And I love that, working on a strategy, because, it's one level, it's really understanding yourself, being mindful and present enough to understand what makes your heart happy, what do you really want to do with life, and making choices. And the other part is then, how do you implement and apply this and make it happen in real life? So what you're saying here is it's very important that we have clarity of choice, and that we pause and really reassess our life and not fall into the habits of behavior that we're used to, or the comfort zones that life offers. They keep on living our life not being 100% happy.
Absolutely. And I think, unfortunately, time moves really fast, and actually we can get quite complacent, or we can get very comfortable in what we're doing, or just settle. And I think that's the thing. Sometimes people settle for things because they don't realize, or don't have the belief or the self-confidence that they are worthy of more, or they are deserving of all the things that they maybe think are suddenly outside of their reach.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, we know this space really, really well. We settle because we don't believe in ourselves that much, or we settle because we have been conditioned to think in a certain way. We settle because somebody told us that we cannot have enough, and we believe them. When we're really young, I know that you work with young kids, that mindset of the young children. What do we program their minds with, and what are the beliefs they're choosing to adapt to, and how that later on this plays out in their life? So it's all of the decoding this personal matrix of ours to be true, authentic, and real.
Yeah, and it's interesting where you say decoding, because and also thinking about the beliefs that our subconscious is kind of running on, because actually we haven't often chosen those beliefs for ourselves. So, whether it be parents, or, adults around us when we were small, whether it be teachers or people in the playground, or, there's lots of thoughts and beliefs about ourselves are actually, created at a very, very young age. And we actually carry those thoughts and those beliefs into adulthood. And what I find really fascinating about the mind is that it is a computer. And we are born, if we're born with a healthy mind as babies, it's the programming, the conditioning, and everything that happens in our world around us that really pieces together how we view the world, how we view ourselves, what we believe are our limitations. And actually, if we are running programs that are not serving us, we do have the ability as grown-ups to be able to undo that programming and reprogram with the things that we want to be, do, and have. And tell ourselves that we are, and steer our ship in a different direction. So we're not stuck with the things in our head that are not serving us, but we may have them, and we all run a narrative in our own minds. And sometimes it's not linked to our desires or the way that we want to be. But we have to do the work. We have to put the work in if we want to change some of those narratives and reinstall others. And that's the work that I help people actually understand. And what we need to do in order to make change, positive change, is actually to create amazing habits. A bit like going to the gym, our physical habits actually determine, how we look, how we feel about ourselves, how well our body functions. And if we're keeping ourselves fit and healthy, it's because we're probably doing physical exercise, or we're feeding our body with the right foods and the nutrition. And actually, our mind is no different. So with Boss Your Morning, I've kind of created a mind gym that people can visit every single day, or 5 days a week. That's I go live and at daily lives, because I know that to create these positive mental health habits, we have to start, sometimes with a coach to really understand what it's all about. But we need to then start to create healthy habits to be able to start changing some of our internal programming. And it's absolutely possible. And it's when you start to see the evidence of that coming through, it's magical. And then just like the gym, or, when you see results showing up, you can't help but continue on that path. And it just, fuels your self-esteem, gives you back your self-control. And then, the success in every area that you choose all becomes closer, and it becomes a bit clearer, and it becomes possible.
Exactly, or inevitable. I think that I'm a huge believer in micro movements, micro steps going forward. Sometimes in life, when people come for coaching or they want to transform their life, they always think big goals, amazing visions, tackling something that they never were able to do, but now they've decided to do it. And as we know, life doesn't work like that. We do have to make micro movements consistently. And then through those micro movements consistently, then we get to the level of achieving these big goals. So if you're somebody who thinks like that, stop, because that will set you up for failure. You have to walk the path. And as you said, you have to do the work. And the real work is in those daily micro movements. So when somebody comes to Boss Your Morning, what are some of the things that they will do, alongside with the community within the app? What are some practices, for example, that will help people, with those micro movements?
Yeah, so we have, I've literally pulled together, lots of the mindset techniques that we all know and love. And actually, we all know like these things are great for us. So first of all, guided meditation. I think meditation is such an amazing way of calming our mind, being able to calm our thoughts, be able to see things clearer, and just give ourselves space in that day. So all of the mindset techniques that we use on the app, we have a Boss Your Morning hacks. So talking about the what, the why, and the how of these things. So guided meditation is the first thing. Gratitude is our second mindset technique. And gratitude is huge. Just feeling really, really grateful for all the things that we've got going on around us. There's some crazy things happening in this world right now. So actually, I think everybody that's listening in to this has, can feel an immense amount of gratitude for, it might be their health, or the people they've got around them, or the roof over their head, or, even just the ability just to wake up and breathe and just to step out of bed in the morning. There's so much that we can feel grateful for, and actually feeling. Some people just sit and write a gratitude list, but actually being able to feel it and be able to take on board that and carry that throughout the day. The other thing that one of the other mindset techniques is affirmations. So I've already talked about, changing the narrative in your head and actually choosing how you want to feel, choosing what you want to be, choosing what you want to do and what you want to have, and actually having that choice to be able to reprogram your mind with the words that you choose. Affirmations are so powerful, and what we say to ourselves does become our belief. So, if we say over and over again, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, I'm sad, eventually we're going to feel quite sad. But if the opposite is true, I can. And actually, if you fuel your mind with positive affirmations, you start to, as you said about the micro movements and the micro thing every single day. What I always say to someone, we're looking to change the set of the sail by 1%. And if you do that, you end up in a completely different place. So affirmations are so powerful. We then visualization is a huge part of Boss Your Morning as well. We spoke on our Instagram Live about this, and I'm a huge believer in vision and just getting clarity on where you're going, what you want, what would make your world the best place for you to be in. And the word that you mentioned earlier, inevitability, it's inevitable. Those things are going to happen if you put the plan in place and work the plan to make them happen. And that's really, really exciting. So really having a clear picture, setting the sat nav for your life and knowing which direction you're going is massively important and is exciting. Actually, just thinking about it, even when I watch my vision video every single day, gives me goosebumps. It makes me smile, and it's and vision is huge. And then I always play something inspirational, and it's relevant to the where we are in the I suppose the calendar. It could be focusing on different things. It might be technical things around how the brain works. It might be just inspirational stories, because we learn so much from people's stories. And then we always create an action list. So taking action, because, visualizing and feeling grateful and, the law of attraction is absolutely there, but we can't just sit and wait for things to come to us. So creating, lots of people have an amazing action list. They've got lots of stuff that they want to do, but just picking 5 things each day and enabling yourself to have a strategy where you do those things, and if you do what you say you're going to do to move yourself in the direction of your dreams, it actually raises your self-esteem. You feel better about yourself, and then you operate from a different vibration for the rest of the day. And when you're on that vibration, taking the actions in the direction that you want to go, then different people, places and things, they cross your path, which help to open doors and move you along that journey. So what we do with Boss Your Morning is we talk about the what, the why and the how of all of those mindset techniques, and we then put them together in a practice that takes half an hour every single day, covering all of those. So, that's what we do. And we, every day is the same. The sessions are the same, because to create a habit, repetition is key. And we've had some amazing success stories, and, it's a feel good program, that, people have been bossing their morning with me for years. And, we've got an amazing community feel about what we do as well. So that's what we do. We also share meditations. We have masterclasses once a month, and the recordings are available to our VIP community. And it's just wonderful how it's unfolding, and how the community really are embracing, the support in all of these years of study into lots of different things, actually pulling them together in a half an hour. Power, the way to start your day. I mean, I wouldn't have start my day any other way. Really gives me kind of energy to power through.
And just 2 weeks ago, we had Bruce Perry on the podcast, and I know a lot of people listen to him. I'm just going to reference, and we were talking about the tribal wisdom with him, because he spent a lot of his time filming and being with the tribes. And what he was sharing at that moment in time, that what we lost in the Western world was our connection to the community, and the importance of community holding each other accountable, being able to be vulnerable in your community, being able to feel belonging within the community, because, that belonging, it's such an important element of motivation and engagement for somebody to transform their patterns. Sometimes it's not easy, to commit to commitment. It's not easy to show up in the morning. It's not easy to create a to-do list and then execute on it, because as we know, life happens. We have families, we have kids, we have parents, we have grandparents, we have bills to pay, we're stuck in the commute, we wake up feeling unhappy, we wake up feeling happy. We're human beings, so life does happen. But I guess, what I want to say, to that is that when you have a community, it's easier. And even if this community is digital, and even if people are meeting digitally, I suppose, but there are accountable to each other, and also they have this sense of belonging to something bigger than themselves, so they have more energy to do that, So I love that sense that, Tessa, you're creating the feel of community, because I think this is exactly how we need to live right now and going forward, to love and support each other to achieve what we need to achieve, right?
Absolutely, which is the absolute reason why Boss Your Morning came around in the first place, because I was having quick success in lots of different areas in my world, and lots of people were turning to me saying, "How are you doing this? What is And actually, that's why I decided to share this practice, not just to my business clients, but actually just with the world. So it's like, actually, this is what I do, and if you'd like to come and join me, you'd like to link arms with me, and we're linking arms together and achieving different things. And as I've mentioned before, success to everyone is completely different. And that's why it's so nice that everyone comes with their own, I'm here to guide them, and there to, as you said, that accountability is huge. And there to support their journeys and cheer them on every step of the way. But again, life does sometimes get in the way. Like with everything. But I think, we do have to take responsibility for where we're going, what we're doing, and what we want to achieve. And one of the things I think, by focusing on your vision, for example, daily, is that you can either create that as your reality, or you can have lots of excuses around that as to the reason why you don't. And I know that sounds harsh.
No, but it's okay to be harsh sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's true. I think what I love about the community that we have created, and because people have been with me for years, doing the same thing, it's like, my vision, I'm very open with my vision. I play my vision board to everybody. They're looking at their own, but if you're new to Boss Your Morning, you will see my vision play out every single day. And that changes and that evolves. And the things that were on there 5 years ago as a thought and a nice to have, and this would be my dream, i.e. traveling the world with my family. When I stepped on that plane, I had so many people from that community literally just cheering me on to say, you did it. And I think that's the thing, is providing the evidence to people that actually this stuff works. And I'm shared my early journey as a financial advisor in the city. When I started to do my visualization and my gratitude, my affirmations, all felt a bit woo-woo at the time. But I was reading this stuff, and I was studying, and I was thinking, this is from every direction. It was telling me that this absolutely works. And then I obviously started my own practice, and I started to see the magic unfold. And by doing the work and working on myself daily and creating amazing power habits, and then following through with those, and I saw how my life has transformed. So 10 years ago, when I started this, I was in such a different place. I was in a 9-to-5 in the corporate world, just had a baby, gone back to work, and not very satisfied with where I was. Felt like I was amber lighting everything. Wind forward 10 years, and I've got 2 beautiful children. I've got businesses that allow me to be location free because I created them in that way. And we're traveling the world as a family. And that seems like a giant leap. But I know that all I did is change the set of the sail by 1% at various different checkpoints. And the nice thing is I suppose it's hearing people's stories to get inspired. And I've heard so many people's stories along the way that inspired me and helped me dream big. So it's so important that we do realize that if someone else can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, exactly. And commitment. I think commitment and responsibility. You mentioned those 2 words, like committing to your life, committing to yourself, and being responsible, able to respond to your life and be consistent. Yeah, I think that part of the community as well, and part of tuning in, it's consistency. Once when you're not kind of just sporadically visiting this and then doing it once in a blue moon, then it doesn't have any momentum. But if you have consistency, then we create the inertia, we create the momentum, we feel the energy, we can move along, and it becomes much easier. I always share with my clients when it comes to coaching, my vision at one moment in time was to have an amazing home. At that moment in time, the vision of that home was so far away from me that it was like unattainable, because I wanted something really special and really beautiful, and in a specific setting, in the nature, close to the sea, everything that I dreamed of and desired. And that coach at that time got me to really detail everything, to get into the detail of that vision, to really, really craft it down to how would that feel, and how would I feel if I was there, and what would be the, angle of sun, and what would be the breeze. And so I managed to detail everything. And then also throughout there, then, I managed to create the strategy. How would I like to attain it? And then through micro moments of daily practices, I kept the vision alive alongside with my wife. To rewind the story, the current home that we were living in, it's the exact thing that I vision. And I share this with clients when they come and visit me. I say, look at this. I keep that paper. I keep this whole journal. Look at this, and this, and this, and this, and this. It's exactly that. So I'm a huge believer that when we engage and we put ourselves at work, when we allow ourselves to be available to our own life, and we dare to dream, dare to dream bigger, to be happier, to give ourselves what we really need, it happens, so.
That's it. And I've been singing today, actually, with my kids, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? And that's the whole thing. I won't sing it because my singing voice is not up to the podcast. However, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? And that is the thing, isn't it? It's like you've got to have the vision to start with. But you said something really important there. You felt it in every single detail. You didn't just print out a picture that's just kind of something like what you wanted. You absolutely went into the micro details of how you're going to feel when you step into that. And I do feel like, when you feel it, you feel your gratitude, you feel your vision, you get excited about it. Then you think, oh, who am I to, if I don't take these actions, that's not going to happen. But for some people, they get excited about how they would feel if something happens, and other people, what drives them is how they would feel if something didn't happen. Now, I've had both, and what got me out of the city, for example, and I had an amazing career. I loved working in London. I loved the social side that went with it. I loved my 6-figure income. I loved all that kind of stuff. There was lots of things that I didn't love about it. But if I knew that I'd given myself a time to be able to build a business, to be able to leave the city, I thought, if I don't do that, I will have to be getting on that train and putting my child into daycare for 9 to 5, 8 till 6 every day. And I don't, and that time ticks away. And by the time, he'll be 2 and 3 and 4, and then all of a sudden you kind of miss those early years. So the pain of me, the thought of me not leaving the city drove me to achieve. And I think it's important to work out the sort of person that you are, whether it's vision and things in the future that will make you really take action, or whether it's the opposite, whether it's actually, I don't want to stay in this place, and that spurs you on to take the action as well towards your vision. And then I think eventually when you get out of that place that you don't want to be in, and you are in the place that you want to be, then the vision becomes that you're working towards those nice things and actually really feeling it. So I've had both, and I'm, but initially that part of the success curve came.
Yeah, I love that you were awakened enough to understand what will not make you happy, and then you use that pain point, so to say, to be able to motivate and stimulate yourself to create reality that you really want to create. And I think that, especially with children, I have two, you have two, that time is precious. Yeah. When I was coaching people through retirement at one juncture of my coaching career, that was the most common thing, even though it sounds cliche. And we heard it again and again and again. People tell you, I regret not spending enough time with my children. It's a reality, you know what I mean? Because they're special and precious and lovely, and you want to be with them, and you want to create, you want to also transfer your wisdom and knowledge. You want to bring them up in the way that you want to see them, instead of somebody else outsourcing, to somebody else to install certain beliefs and mindset to your children that you don't really agree with on a certain level. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, and I wouldn't criticize parents that are in that situation. If they're happy doing that. But certainly there are lots of parents out there that are not happy doing that. And I would honestly say, hand on my heart, if you're not happy with the situation, that, you're not spending enough time with your children. So, for example, my husband was in retail for 20 odd years. He would be in a huge store by 7 o'clock in the morning and probably not get home till 6 o'clock at night. And, and his time with the children was very limited. And actually we changed that as well. And sometimes you think, God, you're on 2 big careers from the outside in, it looks amazing. And, lots of money flowing through the household, and you're doing children in amazing school, driving nice cars, beautiful home. And actually, but there was that thing around time. And that's why, we said, actually, we'd love to travel the world, take the kids out of school for a year, travel the world together. And just being together every single day is magical. And that's not some people's idea of fun. I understand that as well. However, seeing the children bond as brother and sister, having so much time together that they wouldn't necessarily have in a normal life because they'll be at school or they've got their own different hobbies and things like that, is magical as well. So coming back to that kind of connection of people and connection with our own little family, traveling for us we're only 5 months into our year around the world, and it's just been absolutely magical. So I definitely encourage it.
Well done, you guys. So inspirational. People can follow you on Instagram as well. I've checked your Instagram today and I saw the kids and I saw the travel alongside with confirmation and affirmation. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Next time when we record, we're going to dive a little bit more into, mindfulness for children. We don't have time left because we have only a few minutes to wrap up. So based on our conversation today, Tessa, we shared a lot. How would you love to leave audience with anything that feels naturally for you to share to close? Any piece of wisdom or any advice or any tip or anything that just flows from you naturally?
Yeah, I would just say, put your foot on the ball. Stop life moving for a moment and think, in 5 years' time, where do I want to be? Because if you don't have a plan or a vision or a goal, where you're going to be in 5 years' time is exactly where you are right now. Because if you change nothing, then nothing changes. And if you're totally 100% happy and you wake up and you're happy, 99% or 95% of the time, and that's not to say it's then change something, because actually change can seem scary, but actually on the other side of your fear is the world that you're looking for. So be brave, be courageous, work on your mindset daily to keep you on track, and just go for it. You have one shot at this life on this crazy little planet, and just give it all you've got. Because as you said, you don't want to get to retirement or, why? And then the other thing is, I used to coach people on pensions and investments, and everyone saves up for retirement. Why wait? Don't wait for retirement. Live the life that you want to live right now. There's so many ways to spend your time. There's so many ways to make money, and you just got to find the way that allows you to live the life that you would choose.
Beautiful. Tessa, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. Thank you for wonderful, inspirational energy. We're going to reference all websites, the app, the Instagram, so people can find you, connect with you. It was joy and pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to our podcast. That was inspirational and elevating. I'm inspired. I'm flying. Thank you, Tessa. Once again, I'll see each other soon.
Amazing. Thanks for having me. Speak soon.